Hello everybody, it's Zeidoktor here, and this episode of the Typical Manga Review is going to be dedicated to My Hero Academia, Chapter 118, A Meaningless Fight. Quick note before I begin, and I'm going to be noting this on One Piece as well, is due to a change in my work schedule, mostly the fact that I will be working again, it won't affect the review videos, so there's no worry about that, but I will be working off of the fan translation rather than the official translation like I have been doing since I've been going solo here. But it shouldn't be a big issue. But if there's any major discrepancy between fan translation and official translation, I'll make sure that there's a note on here to reflect it. Or if there's any curiosity about it, just let me know and I'll let you know if there's anything different about how it's worded. In any case, this chapter opens with a little robot guard spotting Bakugo and Deku getting ready to fight it out. The person behind the robot recognizes two 1A students confirmed after curfew. Class A, he calls you Eraserhead. It's like, yo, Eraserhead, 2 of your students are out of ground beta. Negligent supervision! Go and take responsibility. Eraserhead is not looking very happy. He's like, are you serious? Getting through here. But just as he's leaving the door, going out the door to figure out what the world they could possibly be doing, someone stops them. We don't see who, we just see a shadowy hand. And there's no real guarantee, so it could be just about anybody. I mean, we know the 4 from the Bakugo rescue mission are still sleeping. I think I saw people suggest Uraraka. All Might would be the logical choice, but it doesn't look like his hand, if that makes sense. I don't know. Hand looks like a young hand, I want to say? I don't know. Anyway, in the chapter proper, let's see here. So I'm going to get something else going here a little bit. Deku's still trying to talk Bakugo down. It's like, wondering if they really have to fight. Like, if that just because he's progressed as he has doesn't mean Bakugo's aspirations were wrong, and nobody was saying that, because that's what he would want. That's what's on his mind. Like, was his thinking correctly? Was his way of thinking incorrect the entire time? Right. Kind of getting a little alternate thing here, so maybe get some comments, little details here. As Bakugo continues to attack and Deku continues to dodge, Bakugo is thinking back to how even though Bakugo always gave him crap and he trailed behind, like no matter how many times Bakugo beat on him, Deku would still just tag along right behind him. While Bakugo just is screaming at Deku to just stop running away and fight already. We see more flashbacks, including Bakugo and Deku both freaking out, little kid versions of them both freaking out at the earning an All Might trading card. It's actually kind of a very cute if you stop and think about it. Bakugo is also thinking on All Might's words to him from different points, like how self-confidence is an extremely important thing, that he does have the power fitting of a hero, and how he is bothered by Midoriya's growth, but trying to point out to him that someone at level 1 and someone at level 50 can't possibly grow at the same rate, so we're good. But and throughout all of this, Bakugo is just constantly asking himself why, like in big letters even. Bakugo's still trying to attack. Deku's still trying to defend himself. Eventually, Bakugo is about to get a good shot in right on one of Deku's arms before Deku backflips and actually kicks this shot away. And he actually knocks Bakugo down with that attack. But when Deku tries to go up to help him, Bakugo pretty much screams that stop worrying about him. Fight me! What is your problem? Why? Why? How did I end up chasing the back of a guy who's always trailing behind me? A small fry like you getting stronger and being recognized by All Might, even though I was getting stronger too. So why? Why did I become the reason for All Might's end? And you can just see the raw anguish on his face at this point too. Like it's just like that you really do kind of see that that's what's bothering him here. And Deku kind of hits Deku too. Bakugo is thinking to himself, if he had been stronger, if he hadn't been kidnapped by villains, none of that would have happened. He seems to realize that All Might was trying to keep that a secret, that he couldn't tell anybody. And Bakugo tried not to think about it, but the slightest accident could make it all come flooding out. And now he has absolutely no idea what the hell he should be doing. And Deku's realizing that this has been on Bakugo's mind the entire time, even that he's been carrying this on his shoulders even more than Deku was from the start. Well, at least from the Kamino incident. And Deku's wondering about if he really has to fight. But now he's thinking to himself that even though this fight may very well be meaningless, and it may not matter who wins or loses, in this moment he realizes he has to do it. Like, alright then, I wanted to see if suit style would work well against you anyway. Because you think, if you want to go, there's no holding back. And Deku's realizing that right now, the only person who can receive these feelings, like help him work through it, is him. And that is where the chapter ends. And once again, like I said, this whole dynamic between Deku and Bakugo is definitely a big deal. It's definitely like I said, everybody seems to compare it to Naruto and Sasuke. I have actually compared it to Vegeta. But I want to say, I think the fact that Bakugo is so introspective about this, he's actually wondering, has he been doing things wrong? He's thinking to himself, why is he's thinking he's responsible for how All Might fell. And it's like, how do I put this here? It's like that alone puts him separates him, I think, from Vegeta or Sasuke. Because Sasuke was less introspective and more emo moody, while Vegeta was less introspective and more, I want to be a Super Saiyan, I wanna. Thank you, Abridged. Thank you for that. And just like it's always been, like, Bakugo does not he doesn't seem to follow just what it is about Deku that makes him, I don't know if impressive is the right word, but like makes him like the choice. Like for Bakugo, like that, like a lot of there's some discussion. Like a couple of people like reading him a bit more shallowly than I think I have been. Because like I said, very fact that he's even stopping to think about this, that means a lot, I think, to my mind. Let's see here. I'm gonna pull up some more recent posts on this here, just to get this going. Meanwhile, while I'm getting these kind of figured out, there's one thing I do wonder about, like who's actually stopping Eraserhead, because I know when I first looked at the chapter, I assumed it was All Might, just given by his appearance at the end of last chapter, and it would also be kind of in character for him to want to help them work through their issues, which in this case would mean like letting them do it for themselves. But then I saw people suggesting it might be someone else. Like I saw one suggesting that it might even be Uraraka. I'm thinking to myself, and then when I looked at it again myself going through here, it's like, that does not look like All Might's hand. I mean, I don't know, it just looks like a kitty hand. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, it does not look like a grown man's hand. And this guy, Horikoshi, is usually decent enough about the art. I don't think he would miss a detail like that. I mean, like I said, just on the art alone, like I said, my favorite panel in this is Bakugo's like just anguished. Why am I the reason for All Might's end? Because you can just see it. Like there is anybody who looks at it cannot possibly miss how much this bothers him. I think. I mean, that is artwork right there. And one note that I thought is, like I said, because of how people noted that this has been eating Bakugo up, it's like early last week, Deku asked like if knowing that would help him, and honestly, it wouldn't. I don't think, because knowing that All Might was gonna have to retire eventually anyway, that he was already that banged up, probably wouldn't do Bakugo any good, because he was still the reason it eventually happened, or at least he is in his own mind. So that does actually make me wonder how much was revealed, because All Might, like French fry form, to use like a fan term, is known obviously. Like he's still getting used to the fact that that's still All Might now. I mean, it doesn't seem going by what Bakugo knows. That's what I'm going to be going by here. It sounds like it's possible he was. It's possible that big old press conference may have revealed that he was injured, or at least he was kind of wearing out his power. Like they exposed that had been happening. He had been declining, but not why. Like for example, Bakugo had to reason out the fact that he knew All Might and All For One had a connection. So it's not like they told why it happened, but just that he had been declining. So I'm thinking that's probably what we're looking at here. Let's see here. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure how this fight is going to end, because like as Deku himself notes, who wins or loses won't really change anything here. Like it won't really determine anything. That's not what this fight is. I don't think that's what this fight is about anymore. And I wonder now if that's why whoever's stopping Eraserhead is stopping them. Maybe they realize something's coming too. You know, actually, thinking on that, it could be Uraraka, because in a way, they were kind of in a similar position in a way back in the sports festival. Like everyone got Bakugo's case for going hard on a girl, but it's like he's not going to underestimate Uraraka. Not to mention that I was just saying she did all what she did on her own, but that's not really relevant to this situation. Trying to think if there's anything else to bring up specifically here. I mean, I said, well, obviously it looks like Deku's going to be serious. It could given the situation, if it's not All Might stopping Eraserhead, he could still step in and prevent him from going any further. And that's assuming whoever, because I don't think he's going to listen to, if it's a student's trying to stop him, I don't see him really listening. I mean, Eraserhead is pretty heavy on the authority. He knows what those kids are capable of. He will let them work things out for themselves. But when it comes to stuff like this, like discipline, he is iron. Like, he is like just, he is not one to compromise. So that's one reason I personally think it is All Might trying to stop him, because he's the only one with the pull to possibly do so. And I do want to see what Deku will do now. Like, this will be his, come think of it. That's a thought. This will actually be Deku's first proper one-on-one fight using his new style. I mean, we saw a hint in little bits of it, and obviously it served him well in the provisional exam when he was in the first stage when he was fighting King Orca. But this will be his actual first one-on-one fight, and he's getting it with, of all people, Bakugo. That's actually really fitting now that I think about it. It's like they're both kind of like working out their own new ways of being heroes. Like Deku with his own style. Bakugo's like wondering if he's he's actually been doing it wrong the entire time. Oh. And I do like that Deku's note is like, I wanted to see how well this would do against you anyway. It's like, yeah, okay, we'll do this. And neither one of them's going in with special equipment either. Like none of the Bakugo's gauntlets, not Deku's leg braces. So this promises to be an interesting fight if it does get to go to its conclusion. And I think that's good for now. Like, I can't think of anything right offhand that I need to go into any further on. Like I said, Bakugo is definitely the centerpiece of all this, with Deku coming in a very close second. In fact, I do want to make maybe one last little detail. I mentioned it already, but the little scene of them, like as little kids opening the trading cards, it was like they're both just freaking out about it. About getting their hands on actual All Might cards. Kind of just goes so that I wonder if they're trying to go for they're similar yet so different type of thing. Still, this is why I'm going to go ahead and stop the review. Like I said, I think I really do want to see how this fight goes. This was definitely a good chapter, I think, but there's definitely a lot of room to go further on this. But in the meantime, that has been the typical manga review of My Hero Academia, Chapter 118, A Meaningless Fight, or Meaningless Battle. The exact wording is not important. But either way, until next week, I'll see you then, and bye-bye.